Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode. My name is Muhammad Amir, and today's episode we are going to start a new series of Adobe Photoshop called Retouching. So, in this series, we are going to retouch some portraits, we are going to retouch some products, and we are going to retouch a lot of things that you can actually retouch in Adobe Photoshop after shooting. So first let me show you an image that I create. Okay, for the portrait retouching we are going to retouch a photo something like this. I use lots of techniques in this photo and I am searching on this technique, and I do my search on this technique 6 months ago and I found lots of ways to do retouching. Some people say use frequency separation, some people say don't use frequency separation, and some skin retouching, some skin smoothing, some texture making, some replacing the texture, and lots of things. So I collect all the things and then I decide to do with my own way. So let's get started. Alright, let's jump into Photoshop. So for this tutorial we are going to use a free raw image that I download from internet, and I am obviously not author of this photo. And here is the image that we are going to use today. Basically I like black skin a lot than a very white and soft skin. So let me decide to use this photo. Let me just click on the open. So because this is a raw image and if you open any raw image in Photoshop, so directly camera will be open for this. So this photo will taken with Nikon D800E, and here is the settings: f9 1/160 ISO 100 and 70-200 at 175 mm. Alright. So this is a pretty good image, have lots of detail in texture and going some good color mixing, having some great lighting on the portrait, and we are going to retouch a lot of things. So first let me just grab the exposure a bit and just a contrast maybe, and then I'm just boosting the shadows and down some highlights, and let me click on the open image. Alright, it's rendering camera format to a PSD layer, I guess. Alright, that's good. It's take some time. Let me first save this image. Control or Command S, and let me save it under my. So here is our image, and first we need to clear the things, some like spots and some skin texture, some hairs, and this kind of things we are going to fix first. Like this model have lots of hairs on the face and have some small problems here and then some problems like this. Alright, so how we are going to take care of these things? Let me first duplicate the image for 3 times, 1 2 3, and let me turn off this one and click on the layer, and let me call it blur, and let me call it HP for the high pass. Okay, so we are going to use frequency separation for this purpose. So select my blur layer and then go to the filter, down to the blur, and then Gaussian blur. So what is the right amount of blur? It's depend on the size of your image. In some raw images it should be fine between 10 to 15 and maybe 8 to 10. So how you find the exact number of this? So you just have to look your skin and tweak your blur setting until all skin detail goes and only you can see the colors, something like, in that case I think 14 or maybe 12. Yep, 12 is perfect, and then let me hit OK. Okay, it's applying the Gaussian blur on the layer. I don't know why my PC is so slow responding me. Alright, now we are going to use HP for the high pass and select this, turn on the visibility of this layer, and then first I like to go with linear light. Okay, boom, everything is looking horrible, like I'm making a horrible movie poster, but we are not going to use this layer like this. So go to the filter option here and down to the others and high pass. Okay, preparing to filter. Okay, perfect. Now we are going to choose the same amount, like we choose 12, I guess. Yeah, 12 for the high pass layer, and just let me check what kind of skin is looking. Okay, this is pretty sharp now. Eyes are very sharp, everything is sharp. Maybe I need to reduce a bit, like 8. Yeah, that's perfect, and let me press the OK button. Okay, preparing the high pass. So basically, what is high pass? If you make a new layer and fill your layer with, like, I like to fill here and 50% gray, and then hit OK. And if you choose a linear light, so everything is gone. This is 0% transparency, nothing visible. If you make it visible or not visible, nothing will be happen. So same in our high pass, because the little detail will be remain on the texture, and where is the 50% gray layer will be invisible. So that's the trick. Let me group these two layers and let me call it FS for the frequency separation, and make another layer. So make sure any work you like to do, make sure to do between high pass and blur layer, like here. So for example, if I choose my brush tool, let me choose a brush tool from here, and then make a nice brush. Hardness is 0. Okay, that's looking good. So if I choose sample from here and I paint here, so you can see, since you're making some effect, but your skin texture will be remain, because the work you are doing is here, and then here is your all the texture information. So basically, in frequency separation, in a simple words, you are going to separate two things: one your color balance and one your detail. So in HP high pass layer you have all your texture information, in blur layer you have all your color information. And obviously when you do a work, you need to work under the texture layer, because you don't want to override the texture like this. So we have a color effect, but we still have the texture. Okay, let me Control A and hit the delete button, so everything will be gone. Now I'm going to make some help layer for this. So let me quickly come here, and first I like to make a black and white layer for this purpose. Let me find where is black and white. Okay, there we go. Okay, we are going to tweak some colors. Maybe I need to brighten up red a bit. Maybe I need to tweak this color and decrease this color. Something like this. Okay, so this is our help layer, and then we are going to create another curve adjustment layer for this purpose, and we are doing make a curve something like this. You don't have to super follow me, Just use your own inspiration with your image. I'm just saying to follow me, but don't need to follow me. In every step, every image have on separate frequencies, some other options. So something like this. So as you can see, there is lots of variation in color here. And let me group these two layers in a help group. Okay, so this is our help group and this is our... Okay, so I have select my mix brush from here, and the amount I'm going to use for everything is 20. I don't know why, but this number is working fine for me. My air pressure is on for my pen pressure. And then make sure to check sample all layers and turn off the high pass and the help layer. So here you can see our basic things like your color is having some problems, having some issue from here to here, and then make sure to turn off and come here and work on your mix brush tool. So here is my brush tool, and let me just paint a quick and try to match the colors. Okay, maybe you see I am doing nothing, just moving my brush, but there is a lot of things going under this layer. So I'm quickly trying to match the color from here and maybe from here. Maybe this is a best way that professional photo retoucher doing, but I found this way very helpful, and I found lots of reference on internet about using mixed brush and using the frequency separation. Let me turn on my high pass layer so we see here is a difference. And if I just solo this layer, so you can see I made a texture for it. Okay, let me turn on it again and turn off this thing. Okay, let me select from here, and we are going to make some color variations, mixing the colors together for having a soft transition between colors. Basically for this mix brush, we are just making the soft transition between colors. So nothing look hard, everything looks smooth. Like here maybe. And do not play lots of skin color, because you have to keep the shadows and highlights on the same place. Do not use over and over again on a single area, and take just small strokes for the brush, like 10 or 15 pixels I guess. Okay, so let me check what I have done. Okay, here you can see some color mixture from here, some here, and if I solo this layer, so you see what I have done. Okay, just turn off the high pass layer again, and then making some colors like this here. Okay, perfect. Some details maybe here. Then we'll quickly come to the next section. Alright. So I'm not a huge fan of mixed brush. I like basically Gaussian blur, but for basic understanding of the color blending, I am showing how you can use this tool. It's looking good, everything I think. Let's set some shadows here, some metons maybe. Okay, so here I can again search. Take some time and make sure after every, I suggest you 20 second or 30 second, go back and turn on your high pass layer and see what you have done. are you doing something wrong or not? And if you think it's good, then please go and do again your work. Alright, so for this tutorial I think it's enough, and I am making an again layer here and call it stamp. And then let me type Command Alt Shift and E from my Mac, and you can use Alt Control Shift E from the Windows. So we have basically, oops, before we do this we need to turn off our high pass layer. Okay, perfect. Now if I turn off this layer, nothing will be happen, but we mix this thing. Okay, now we are working with Gaussian blur. For this purpose, let me just hide this and turn on my help layers so I can see here is a lots of problem in the colors. So let me quickly select my lasso tool and make a selection around this area, maybe something like this, and my feather is 21, it's good for me. And then go to filter, down to the blur and down to the Gaussian blur, and here you can see some pixels are moving like this. Don't use too much, just trying to smooth the color transitions, like maybe 20%. Hit the OK and turn off the layer, and you can see what you have done. If you turn off this and if you closely look here, so maybe you found what we have done. Okay, you can see here is a color transition going. So for this I'm going to make some selection around this part. Oh, I want to blend this thing, and Control or Command F, again selecting this part of the image. Control F again for repeat the same filter with the same amount. Select here, Control F and hit Control D or Command D. Okay, then maybe we need some adjustment here. Down to the filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur, and then let me check. Maybe that's perfect. Okay. And let me select the darkest part from here, and perfect. Down to here, make a selection, and hit Control F. Fine. Now maybe I need to blend this a bit, and this part as well. And now down here. So basically we are smoothing the transition between the colors, and we have our texture information here, so we don't need to worry about the texture. But still you don't have to use too much Gaussian blur. Make sure to restrict with under maybe 30 or 40 maximum, and the minimum amount is 10 for the high resolution picture. Okay, that's good. Quickly make a selection of the brightest part of this image. Okay, cool. As you can see, we have mixed some highlights with the shadows, so I need to undo, and then I fix the problem. So as I already told you, if you did a mistake, please go step back and don't try to write over and over again. Okay, if I turn off this layer, and you can see we have lots of difference. Alright guys, I think it's enough for today, and the other part of cleaning the image, we are going to do some work in our next episode. Till then, please practice with your own images, with the raw images I suggest. And if you need these images, please come into my group. This is a free images that I copy from internet. And here is my group, Pakistan Freelance Portal. And if you didn't subscribe my channel of YouTube, A Production Tutorial, so please click on the subscribe button and make sure to turn on the notification, so you got every new update about my channel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. My name is Muhammad Amir. See you in the next video.